Well, hello there. Thanks for joining me. This week's championship is called Welcome to the Horizon Festival, which might be the worst name for a trial just yet, as we go cross country in our A-Class sports utility vehicles. We see lots of different parts of the map, but at no point do we even come close to the festival site. The name suggests we're welcome there, but I suspect it is merely a lure, as the races feel more like a kidnapping course than a celebration of our arrival on the Horizon Festival. The sports utility vehicles has a wide range of different cars, but I wanted to stick with something I'm used to, especially as I'm not too keen on these cross-country races. But as you will see, our team exists entirely out of Porsche Macans, which I took as well, and the other half are Lambo Urus. Both are present in different versions, but still this is rather a very limited set of cars. Maybe for once I did take one of the better choices for this championship. For the first race, we are presented with the Arthur's Seat cross-country race. Team Drivatar has more variety in their car choices, although they also have a Urus 19. My starting position is dead last. Let's hope I will finish a bit higher than that. Looking at the map, this race seems to contain lots of straights. So maybe a race more suited for the speed cars and less for the handling cars. Oh no, he's making up excuses even before the race starts. Well, I might need those excuses, you know. This is a cross-country event after all. Off we go, and the start actually goes quite smoothly. I can pass a few people, but not the usual speeding to the front. And then there are some shenanigans going on in front, and I get a blocking Drivatar in an unavoidable position. He receives a little punt and I get dropped back to last position, but only for a very short time, as the shenanigans were still very much alive. Now we're battling our way through the pack in these corners, some of which can be really tricky. I myself had some major disasters here. Also, on the way down, it is very dangerous, as there is a jump that might unsettle your car, or when taking it at an angle, point the car in the wrong direction, which often leads to a very difficult recovery. None of that for me this time, so I can continue my battle as I fly past that Drivatar, try to take the corner on the inside, and then have to make sure I actually get the next checkpoint. A quick look at the points. We have a solid lead. First three places are for our team. And if you remember, make sure to take the tunnel, as it is way quicker than going over the hill. I was just lucky that my car pointed more into this direction. And now I just follow the one in front of me as he decides to pummel the wall. And so I pummel him. That might have unsettled his car more than I actually realized during the race. A very belated sorry for you, dear sir, or madam, or any of those other 5,324 nouns. Can't be too careful these days. These little corners through the farms are quite suited for my car, and I try to take the most advantage of it. And that leaves me chasing the leaders, but they are quite far ahead. There are a couple of sweeping corners coming up, and well, although I can also take those pretty fast, it doesn't seem I'm able to gain on the leaders. Now this next section, the freeway crossing, it is a very dangerous place, as you can hit the walls there. Especially dangerous because there is not a lot of visual difference between the section that has walls and the sections that don't. The leaders are gone, pulling away from me. A Drivatar passed a teammate behind me as I took the last corner onto the finish line, and on the minimap we see him closing in on me. However, he is not close enough, so I cross the finish line in third place. Considering this is a cross-country race, I'm actually pretty pleased with my result. We have the first three positions, which is sufficient to win the race, but coupled with some more good to decent places, we have an overwhelming victory. Blue team wins and we get our first championship point. Will we be able to improve ourselves for the next race? Will we have a better result, or will it see me spin out, hit a tree, crash into the wall, land upside down, you know, the things that happen all too often on these cross-country events? We are going to find out in the next race, the Whitewater Falls Cross Country. It is the one with the jumps on the waterfalls. Also in the first section in the quarry there is a massive jump, so the landing upside down is certainly a possibility. My starting position is near the end, but we're used to that. If we can get a victory on this race, then the last race will be for honor only, which is becoming somewhat of a tradition on this channel. So, let's get started and catch ourselves another championship point. Off we go. And I try to stay a little bit to the left, but it is too much and I hit the wall. Uphill, through the forest. I'm not too sure where we're going. And all of that makes me almost miss that checkpoint. And I receive a nice little helping punt from a teammate. It helps me accelerate as I take the inside line, but the little jump does weird things and I'm only just able to straighten my car out for the jump, unlike the driver car in front of me. I shift back to third, which is strange while in the air, but it is the correct one when my wheels hit rock bottom again. Literally hitting rock bottom, as my run is fairly decent. But let's see if I can gain some more positions. For now, however, I'm a bit in my own space, can't catch the ones in front while keeping ahead of the people behind. Trying my best to race as cleanly as possible, as any mistake will be severely punished. But then, the driver in front decides to do a little car boogie woogie and somehow I miss him by just a couple of inches. Would not have wanted to put my hand in between, which would have been rather ridiculous anyway. It does ground me a better run towards the little creek, but the water does its best to spin my car out, and I can't get it to straight out. But somehow my car is pointed more or less in the correct direction. Also, this section, the water prevents my car from turning correctly, but the small patch of dry land helped out. Over the hill and far away we go, albeit with quite a wonky line. And it stays wonky for quite some time, as I'm not sure where this race will lead us, and visibility is close to zero with these uphill sections. Then we head for the forest and also the finish line. Through the puddle we go, and one final jump, and through sheer magical force I am able to gain one more position. I have no idea what was going on, but that does not prevent me from taking his place. It was a teammate, so in the end it won't influence the points. But we have more than enough to have a second victory. This race was a bit more difficult, but still a decent result, and more importantly, it was quite fun. Never thought to admit that a cross-country trial could be fun, but nevertheless I'm hearing myself say it. Just like I can hear myself say for the nth time, we have secured ourselves the championship victory, and the last race will be for honor only. And if I want to get myself some of that honor, I need to improve my racing a bit. Or kill the others somehow, that would do as well. Well, to get a better finishing position, that is. Not too sure that would grant me a lot of honor. Luckily, this time I do get a good starting position in the last race, the Ambleside Rush Cross Country. And a rush it will be. A rush towards the finish line, but also a rush of adrenaline. That's how excited this race will be. We start and we head for the quiet town of Ambleside with our massive and very loud sports utility vehicles. Word is that the elderly people of Ambleside still lie shaking in their little box beds. We, however, cannot take into account the sleeping patterns of these senior citizens, as we've got a race to win. And we are heading towards the very short turn. I want to take it on the inside line, as I know my handling beast can take it. Others will be cleaning up these walls as I almost visit one of the elderly couple's bedrooms, or at the very least create a new vantage point for them. I'm up in 4th place with only team members in front. Normally we would not battle each other too hard to not mess up the race result, but since we already have the victory secured, we can battle as much as we like. And we do. Still in 4th place, as I try to gain, but can't. And then we decide, well, to do a little cleanup of some gardens. Oh, for sure, these old-timers of the village will remember us. I take the first corner on the inside, but that leaves me on the outside of this longer corner and still up in 4th place. But looking at the scoreboard, we have the first 5 positions as we head towards a small road section which ends with a big jump. Also on this big jump I shift back to 3rd gear to have a good start after landing. This checkpoint that is coming up is always troublesome, as a lot of people, myself included, forget to steer to the right on the jump. The checkpoint is invisible until you're in the air and it is too late to do anything about it. That leaves me up in 2nd place and I'm just able to gain 1st position as my run was a tiny little better. I was lucky to steer my car beside his on the jump, or I would have punted him forward. The honor, ladies and gentlemen, is all mine. All mine, I tell you. 1st place, it was both fun and I had a good result. A nice way to finish this Welcome to the Horizon Festival Championship. Hey, what's in a name, right? Because of that funky checkpoint, we could not retain the first 5 positions, but nevertheless, we have enough points. We have enough points to win this race also, and thus the 3 points for the championship. Blue team wins, and we win this trial only to receive the legendary chicken suit. And that brings us to the end of this video. Only thing remaining is to convince everybody to press all the right buttons. So, people, please do so, or I will try to visit your bedroom in my sports utility vehicle as well. So there you have it. Now press those buttons. And oh yeah, I hope to see you next week. Maybe also check out my other videos. They're all good fun, or bad fun, but fun guaranteed.